Hello there, creeps. Welcome back to Library Macabre, where I talk about books, movies, writing, and all things spooky. And on this episode, I have yet another ginormous unboxing video. So, a couple of months ago, author Mark Morris was very kind and sent along a whole bunch of his books for review. I'll post the video of that unboxing right up here. The unboxing was so popular that Pete from Bloodshot Books also wanted to send along a package of some of their books, so he did that. And then after that, I got yet another message, this time from Graham Reynolds, who runs Horrific Tales Publishing out of the UK. And he also wanted to send along a box of books for me to unbox here on the channel and eventually read and review. Of course, I am getting super behind on reading and reviewing. I already kind of was, and I made sure to let all the authors know this before I accepted anything, because I'm like, hey, I've got a lot to read. I work 2 jobs. I'm a writer. I also do the YouTube thing. Like, it's going to take me a while to get to everything. And they were like, that's fine. As long as you do an unboxing video, take your time. I told the same thing to Graham. He was super understanding, and he said, yeah, I'd still love to send along a box of books. So he did. And he sent along his entire catalog. So we have a bunch of paperbacks in these boxes, and then I have yet another box that hasn't arrived yet because hardcovers take a little bit longer to manufacture. So there are a couple of hardcovers that are also coming from Horrific Tales Publishing. I'm going to go ahead and unbox these, and then I will edit in the hardcover books whenever I get those in the mail. So this first package is very small. It looks like there's just a couple of books in here. The majority of the books are in the bigger box. So the first one that I see is called Deadside Revolution. And this is by Terry Grimwood. It looks kind of like a apocalyptic book, which isn't always my thing, but we will read the back of this and see what it's about. It says, shreds remain. The dead are ascendant, while the living hide like rats in the dark corners of their cities. For some, there is the hell of the flesh farms that supply their masters with live meat and fresh skin for others. The vitally skilled, there is servitude, slavery, and survival. Dr. Robert Lewis, cosmic surgeon, clings to life as a vitally skilled repairer of dead flesh. He is a survivor, a shadow, and plans to remain that way until a message arrives which plunges him into an inferno of unspeakable violence and destruction. A fallen angel is in revolt. There is war in hell, and as it spills over into this world, Robert Lewis discovers that he is the key to the living's defeat or salvation. This actually sounds really good. Like I said, not usually a big fan of apocalyptic books, but this sounds very unique. There's a lot more going on to this than just a group of people trying to survive. Alright, so next up, we have Of a Feather, which is by Ken Goldman. I really love the cover. That looks super spooky. I'm loving the purple and the red together. That looks really cool. It says, Socrates has a gift, a power even he doesn't fully understand. But old Gert, who feeds the pigeons in Gustav's park, understands. Pretty Jamie, who works at the Bird Emporium, understands. And the old Indian chief, who wears a strange 2-sided bird mask, he understands too. As does the ancient angry spirit called the Thunderbird, and about 1 million of Wellington County's feathered creatures. They know what Socrates Singer really is, and they know what he can do. So, I don't know exactly what this is about. The synopsis is pretty vague, but that's cool, because I usually don't read the synopsis of books before I get into them. I kind of get a general idea of what a book is about, but I don't like to read the synopsis because sometimes it gives away a little too much. But this makes me very intrigued, very mysterious. So if you've read this, let me know what you thought. Okay, next up we got a clunker of a book. This is called High Cross. Very spooky, gothic looking cover there. And this is by Paul Malhusish, I think is how you say it. It says, High Cross has laid empty since World War II, deserted, abandoned, until now. Property developer Mark Grange has renovated the old village into a community fit for the 21st century. As the first residents move in, an evil which has lain dormant stirs. Lady Grey has woken. As human as sin and as eternal as the devil, Lady Grey enslaves the hearts and minds of these new villagers, using their sins, secrets, fears, and desires. And these new residents harbor some very dark secrets indeed. Unless Mark can stop her, Britain's newest village will become a hell on Earth. This sounds really cool. Very epic. Still, very large book. Looks like, almost 600 pages. And the font is pretty small. So it's going to take me a while to get through this one, but it sounds really good. Alright, so let's get into the big box, shall we? Alright, let's see what we got. Dang. There's a lot of books in here. Look at that. Wow. Alright, so the first one I see, it is actually the second book in a series called Lucifer Falls. This one is called Doll Manor. And this looks amazing. Just look at that cover. I love creepy dolls, and this has a whole bunch of them just running around all over the place. So cool. This is by Chantel Nordelus, I think is how you pronounce it. Here we go. This is the first book in the series called Angel Manor, which also looks awesome. I mean, these go so well together. Just look at that. I'll go ahead and read the synopsis of this one. I'll skip reading the synopsis of this since it's the second book in the series and I don't want to spoil this one. So this says, Angel Manor, a beautiful house with a dark and deadly secret. When Freya inherits her mother's childhood home, she sees it as an opportunity, a chance for a new life with her best friends, as they convert the crumbling mansion into an exclusive hotel. Instead, they'll be lucky to escape with their lives. As the first hammers tear through the bricked-up entrances, a dark, terrible, and ancient evil stirs beneath the house, an evil that has already laid claim to Freya and her companions' souls. That sounds amazing. So far, I'm probably going to be reading this and Doll Manor first because these sound so good. Alright, so next up we have a werewolf novel. This is called High Moor, and it is actually by Graham Reynolds, who runs Horrific Tales Publishing. So this is his own book. This looks great. I'm going to read the synopsis for you. When John Simpson hears a bizarre animal attack in his old hometown of High Moor, it stirs memories of a long-forgotten horror. John knows the truth. A werewolf stalks the town once more, and on the night of the next full moon, the killing will begin again. He should know. He survived a werewolf attack in 1986 during the worst year of his life. It's 1986, and the town is gripped in terror after the mutilated corpse of a young boy is found in the woods. When Sergeant Stephen Wilkinson begins an investigation, he soon realizes that this is no ordinary animal attack. Werewolves are real, and the trail of bodies is just beginning, with young John and his friends smack in the middle of it. 20 years later, John returns to High Moor. The latest attack involved one of his childhood enemies, but there's more going on than what meets the eye. The consequences of his past actions, the reappearance of an old flame, and a dying man who will either save or damn him are the least of his problems. The night of the full moon is approaching and time is running out. But how can he hope to stop a werewolf when every full moon he transforms into a bloodthirsty monster himself? That sounds great. And actually, I see what I believe is the second book in the series. No, actually, this is the third book. High Moor 3, Blood Moon. Super awesome cover. And I'm gonna see if I can find the second book in here. Yeah, here we go. High Moor 2, Moonstruck. Super cool covers on all three of these books. I'm not gonna read the synopsis of the other two just because, they're the second and third book in a series. So I don't want to spoil anything for myself or you guys. But there's a nice complete set of some really killer looking werewolf books. I love a good werewolf story. Next up, this looks so good. Holy crap. All of these books look amazing. The House of Frozen Screams by Thana Neveyu. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing any names, by the way, but that looks absolutely killer. When Liz and Nick Holland buy Wintergate, an isolated, long empty Victorian seaside house, They believe they have found the perfect home. However, it isn't long before it begins to have an unsettling effect on Liz. She hears the sound of crying babies in the dead of night, and a sinister presence seems to be stalking her, making her doubt her sanity. Wintergate has a dark secret. Something evil lives there, and Liz must unravel the house's twisted history before she becomes its next victim. Man, there are a lot of really good sounding haunted house stories published by Horrific Tales. So this sounds great, and that cover is to die for. Next up is, damn, wow, yet another killer cover. Jeez, look at that. That is amazing. Very cosmic horror. This is by William Holloway, Cosmic Horror's Darkest Mind. So yeah, I was right about the cosmic horror thing. The Immortal Body, which is book 1 in a series. And it says here, Detective John Mitchell thought he understood murder. But that all changes when monsters are born during a faith healing at a local church. Psychic medium Sarah Lynn Baucamp thought she understood the dead, but the dead have a new plan for her. SAS veteran Dr. Minard thought the war was through with him until an unspeakable evil returns from the depths of a forgotten time. Behind it all, a mysterious figure lurks, controlling the actors from the shadows, ushering an end to reason, sanity, and the world as we know it. Damn, that sounds cool. Here we have a book by Jonathan Woodrow. It is called Wasteland Gods. After the brutal murder of his son is broadcast over the internet, yikes, Billy Kingston becomes consumed with alcoholism and thoughts of revenge. But his outlook changes when a divine being named Dr. Verity offers Billy the chance to not only find the man responsible for his pain, but to remove him from this world before he can commit the murder. When the deal with Verity takes a wrong turn, Billy moves to the small remote town of Bitten Lake and the chance of a new life. Only Dr. Verity isn't through with him yet. Not by a long shot. This sounds like it'll be a very emotional read since it deals with the death of a child. Alright, it looks like we have 3 more paperbacks and then I'll wait until the hardcover box arrives. This next one is called Bottled Abyss by Benjamin Kane Eldridge. Man, yeah, Horrific Tales is very good with their covers. I mean, I know they say don't judge a book by its cover, but a good cover goes a long way. Herman and Janet Eckerson are going through a crisis of grief and suffering after losing their daughter in a hit and run. They've given up on each other, they've given up on themselves. When their dog goes missing, Herman resolves to find the animal, unaware he's hiking to the border between the living world and the dead. Long ago, the gods died and the river Styx dried up, but a bottle containing its waters still remains in the Badlands. What Herman discovers about the dark power contained in those waters will change his life forever. Very cool. Oh, I see another book by William Holloway. This looks like the second book in his series. This is called Song of the Dead God. Yet another amazing cover on that. Since this is the second book, I'm not going to read the synopsis because, again, I don't want any spoilers. But yeah, I'm really eager to read this series. It looks really cool. And lastly, we have yet another book by William Holloway. This one is called Lucky's Girl. It does not seem to be a book in his other series. It says, something has awakened on Grove Island. Something that, even in sleep, has held Elton Township in its dark embrace. Something old, wise, and patient. Something that walked the ancient forests and howled beneath black skies. Kenny McCord has a good life, his own slice of the American dream. But all of that is over. So he is heading home to the small town he left behind so many years ago. However, Kenny is not the only son that has returned to Elton Township. His childhood friend and worst enemy has come back to settle old scores and, quite literally, raise a little hell. That sounds really good too. Man, wow, okay, so there are all 14 books. These are all the paperbacks. And he said that there is a total of like 23 books, I believe, that he's sending me from his entire back catalog. So I have quite a few hardcovers coming. I didn't think there were going to be that many, but yeah, whole bunch more. So I will see you guys in a little bit. I'm going to edit that clip in here right